Joining me now, Frank Luntz, a Republican political consultant and pollster who recently conducted a focus group with vaccine-hesitant Trump voters. Jim Messina, former White House Deputy Chief of Staff in the Obama administration. And back with us, Dr. Peter Hotez. Frank, first of all, we've seen reluctance among Republicans. This is in your polling, other polling, and your focus group certainly, because white Republican voters are often more resistant than minority voters in some of this polling. To what do you attribute it?
And in fact, the group that's most resistant are young Republicans, 18 to 49. They simply don't trust Washington. They don't trust the government. They don't trust the politicians. They think that COVID is real, but they believe it was used as a political tool to beat up on the former president. And so they're particularly hesitant. For some of them, they're making a statement, a political statement, by not taking it. And for others, they want to know about the side effects, and they want to know how it was rushed into delivery. And what we tell them is this: 90% of all doctors, when given the chance, have taken the COVID vaccine. That's the key statistic. The second key statistic is that the COVID vaccine is actually more effective than even the flu vaccine, which many of them have taken. And third, your local doctor is supporting this. Your personal doctor says do it. Those are the three factors that make a difference. The de Beaumont Foundation, a nonpartisan organization, said that if we don't get Republicans taking this vaccine, we're never going to hit herd immunity. So at the risk of offending Senator Paul, this has got to happen. And I give you those three statistics as the reason to get this vaccine.
And Frank, part of your focus group, Chris Christie, who shared some of his personal experience. Remember, he got so sick, and it was after debate prep in the White House. Let me play it from your group.
You all know how I got it. I went into what was supposed to be the safest place in America, the White House. I was the sickest of everybody and had the longest hospitalization. The next sickest person was the president. But the next sickest person after that was Hope Hicks, who was the youngest and most fit person in that room.
Jim Messina, does the White House have to adjust its strategy to try to reach those reluctant Republican voters who, as Frank points out, just don't trust the experts, don't trust the scientists, and the younger ones, of course, think that they're relatively immune?
Well, I agree with Frank that I think part of what we need to do is get surrogates that people trust. And local doctors, nurses, and all the research I've seen are the best surrogates, kind of getting the politics out of this, which is what the White House is trying to do. Leading with science is about getting the politics out of this so we can get down to the best messengers for individual targets. And I think getting to doctors, nurses, and local trusted voices is key for a variety of target populations, including African Americans, Latinos, and Republicans. So I think Frank's research is exactly kind of what the White House is attempting to do.
And Dr. Hotez, how do public health experts get out of the politics, reach out to doctors, not just experts such as yourself, but the family doctor, to try to get the word out? And there are also frontline health workers who are refusing the vaccine in large numbers. That's a problem.
Yeah, Andrea, one of the things that I've been doing is whenever I can now, I try to go on conservative news outlets. I've gone back on Fox News and Newsmax and some of the others. And the way I explain it is this is an evolving situation. What happened was the anti-vaccine movement in 2015 was kind of floundering because we had successfully debunked a lot of the fake vaccine autism links. And what they did to re-energize was they attached onto the extreme political right of the Republican Party, the Tea Party, and they began, especially down here in Texas and Oklahoma, and were able, under this fake banner of health freedom, were able to convince parents not to vaccinate their kids. And then it expanded to, in 2020, to protest against social distancing and contact tracing. And the problem is now it's become mainstream to the Republican Party. Anti-science is a mainstream platform of the Republican Party, and it never used to be this way, and we've got to figure out a way to extricate it.
That's not true, actually.
And the trust factor, Frank,
please, Andrea,
chime in, Frank.
We looked at 1,000 Trump voters. That's simply not true. that they do embrace the science. They do believe that COVID is real. They simply have an issue with the people who are telling them to take the vaccine. I'll give you an example. The presidential ad that's being run, the PSA ad that has 4 ex-presidents, that's completely ineffective because our Trump voters are saying, I don't know those people know the science. Doctor, they're more likely to trust you, but they're not going to trust a politician delivering that message. They all believe that that COVID is real. They all believe that the virus is dangerous. They all see the randomness, as Governor Christie spoke about. And all they're asking is for their local doctor to be the person to deliver that message. And they're asking for the vaccines not to take place in these mass locations. Please, can they get it in their doctor's office?
Well, I think it's
that's not
important to
always
remember.
possible, Frank. It's not practical. Go ahead, Dr. Hotez.
Well, we have to remember the reality. In 2020, we saw ICU nurse after ICU nurse weeping because they were taking care of intubated, ventilator-dependent individuals in red states, in the Midwest, in the southern states, whose last dying words were that COVID was a hoax and this is not real, and not even being able to allow to die with dignity. So there has been a full embrace of anti-science, and obviously it's going to be different from individual to individual. And of course, people should hear from their family physician. But we need the leaders of the Republican Party to step up and start reminding people that the National Academy of Sciences was started with Lincoln, and it was Eisenhower who started NASA, and this is new, and we can't have these marked ridiculous statements by Rand Paul. We can't have the governor of Florida entertaining openly anti-science viewpoints in his press conference, and that is a reality.
Well, we're going to not resolve this today, but we're going to have everybody back because right now, Frank Luntz, Jim Messina, Dr. Peter Hotez, I'm going to have to wrap it up.